I mean, it's sure to deliver. He's definitely been putting in work.
I'm excited for it. I mean, we've seen him play some duelists before, but it's always been the secondary. To me, it makes very little sense because Tui's used to play Neon, and he hasn't played Initiator before. And Loud are going to take A-Rebel control right off the rip. And Sadak, are you going to slide into this trip?
It's a brave angle by Apoth. Right now, it's going to be swarmed, overwhelmed surely by the util, but he gets out scot-free. Pancada going for the squeeze, along with Kawazine.
It's nice. It's a pistol round that's a little bit similar to what we saw coming out yesterday when NRG were pushing out Mound and B, but this time it's A and B. So just mixing things up. EG smartly going to take some spawn control and attempt to flip the map.
There.
Jorg would love to start some kind of snowball popping with ISO, but he's not going to be given any chances at shots from his position.
Yeah, no player's going to be walking or wading right into him. Instead, it's just full mount control jump spot from Derek. Seeing a few players at least knowing that one, but the shot's going through anyway. Damage being done. Major disadvantage right now. EG need a miracle and need a few kills to go their way. In which direction will the round end? Currently filling up the feed with a bit of red still. Everybody will topple in the end. So Loud up for the initial round here on the pistol.
And there's just so much to choose from that you could talk about in this map. We literally couldn't get through it all, I think, if we tried.
Really couldn't.
But if you're just looking at towards Loud, Les has been playing Viper for almost all of the year. He's barely dipped his toes into anything else. And we're seeing him back on the Cypher role, which he's played tons of in the past as well. But the fact that we're seeing Tui's then transition over to Initiator, I've got my eyes on him. He used to be a duelist. Most people were expecting him to be picking up the duelist until recently Sadak announced that he was going to be running it down on Perma Neon. And listen, if you're talking about Neon maps, Lotus and Sunset, you don't get much better than that for the first two in this series.
I mean, they've been proven even before the buffs.
Absolutely.
Can definitely play that particular agent.
Yeah, there's just so many opportunities. And I think good spots as well for Sadak to be the one that entries for the team and makes space for them in a selfless manner.
Yeah.
And then you've got such excellent people to follow up. That's where Pancada and Les thrived in the past.
Ooh, a bit of a strange fight occurring, but cleaned up by Pancada.
Yeah, and there you go. Same kind of thing. Yeah. Sadak doesn't need the kill necessarily. It just needs to set up these other players on the team who've got good supportive ideas.
Kawazine going to seek to push back this offense out towards the side. Shots going a little bit crazy. Buck wild here from the EG players, but landing directly the targets they wanted. Now Plant stuck by Derek, committed all the way. Getting themselves into the post, but the flash is good.
That should be
paranoia. Derek's isolated, so very little in terms of the chances available to him. They eventually do take him out. So second round there, 3 players surviving with Loud, and you know, talking about the wider stakes as well. You can hone in on players all you want, but you know, both of these teams are 2 and 3 so far over the course of our season.
That's
right
not
now,
great.
this year it's not great. This match right now is a real turning point for both of these teams. It's almost fitting that they're both sitting exactly in terms of the same, you know, match differential standings overall.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely the case that both of these squads want more. Both of these organizations have seen the very heights of the game. Both orgs have literally won champions, and yet they find themselves here. Different rosters had to make changes and need this to be the turning point. You're absolutely correct. It's a bonus round for Loud. Do they have something aggressive prepared? You would expect EG to be holding for it, but instead they're walking forward to take a clash at front B.
Yeah, just trying to double up and take this fight already. Shield going to be activated now. A lot of util to slow them down, but barreling forwards and through. Wait, the door's open wide. Stop them in their tracks there. Nice, even exchange. So Loud bring it to that 3 versus 3.
Those are 2 incredibly important kills just to halt that momentum.
Sadak, he's going for a little bit more.
I like that though. EG cut noise and Sadak just goes for some information. He's not expecting this re-explore.
Spotting less though. Superman
Last player standing.
has to take risks in this spot. Derek, last one left. Not favored though. Facing up into the double face of Loud. 3 in a row now for them.
Bren, there's some sick part of me that really wants Sadak's stats at the end of this to be better than Aspas's, so that we can run some kind of bonkers.
Just you at a head-to-head.
We've entered a dimensional portal kind of head-to-head stat, where we compare the 2 duelists. Look how nice this one is, though. Still very good coordination between these players. It's almost reminiscent of in some sense, like NRG adding back in Finesse and Som, players with a lot of experience with the roster, but not recently. That's somewhat similar to what Loud are up to right now.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy to see Pancada back playing once more. Shots getting fired and rattled. Across the board, only the pistols in the hand of the EG players, but almost coming out on top of that fight. Still Superman's low. Oh, what is this? Getting tricky with it, but he just can't quite land a shot. One would have done it.
Brutal.
2 years being low enough.
Apoth's worked his way all the way through B. Has found a gap that maybe he can exploit on a rifle round. This kind of thing, weirdly enough, Apoth might find more value in the long term by disguising the fact that he walked through B here.
Yeah.
In order to do that, he'd have to kind of walk all the way back through one of the sites.
Just so that, you know, Loud don't,
but
Loud don't realize there's a gap in the defensive play, right?
Exactly, exactly. So sometimes it's better not to even try to maximize the value in a 1v3 here. But if he gets a free kill on less, you know, magic could happen.
Slight anticipation, yeah, that he might have been re-swung onto that angle, but no, not happening. So 4 in a row now for Loud. This is a, steady lead. Obviously doing it onto the anti-eco. Now a bit of a buy round for EG.
Sadak with the neon operator, round 5, all right. We're seeing it all here today.
One enemy remaining.
Now that to me doesn't make as much sense, Brent, with the way that they want to play. And it seems like he's dropping it, not opting for that.
Yeah, just gone for the rifles.
Yeah, and setting up trips over towards A for Loud to play off, while Les himself anchors with Pancada on the C side.
EG being the team as well, that they're struggling to find a lot of value here, but fault line, undercut, price forward, at least gives them access to front C. Loud ready for a refight though again. Look at the proactivity, off the charts again, the double tap, refresh! Jorgamo! Sky can't be removed, the raid boss, but finally broken and taken out.
Shot in the back, cowardly maneuver. 3v3 though. And they're lacking that initiation ability to get in onto sites without having the raise, without having that ability to burst through. So EG forced to play things a little more slowly unless they can get all of these big entries. Cutting noise, and last time Loud went for a re-explore. This time, same thing, and they punish.
Yeah. That's a fast thrash is going to be used and offloaded just to try and push them back.
Sadak's opening the door.
Aggressive. Sadak opens the door, bit of a distraction play. Okay, overdrive. Popped up, but he can't land anything. It's all gone skew whiff into this round here, but a few straight shots maybe might do it. Into the cage. Blind as a bat, really. Pure instinct is what he was operating off of. Still 2 years.
They're so
30
weak.
seconds
Yeah,
left.
in a 1v2, definite chances for him.
There's 33 health. I mean, if they lined up, he could kill them with a single bullet. He's going to have to go through both of these trips.
Spike
So it's going to give Apoth great information about exactly where Tuis is coming from and the timing involved. But a thrash available, and like I said, barely a soft breeze would knock over Nature and Apoth here.
Yeah. Nature and Apoth as well, just biding their time.
Playing as
Nice
far back as you
and slow,
possibly
yeah.
can to avoid thrash.
Full avoidance. Even just holding the util. Nature. He's going for the major win cons here. Thrash. It's an instant cancel. Not sure if that's a fake out or a mistake or what, but still a tap onto the spike now. Fault line. Slight delay. Forced out. Apoth getting a bit of a run on and a move on. Of course, they know he can't quite beat Honest. So 2 years. Not quite winnable for him. Time running short.
It is good damage, nevertheless, onto EG. You know, removing a lot of those players. Loud's economy is booming right now. The players are almost max money. Now, just to talk about this for a moment, if you have been playing Valorant in ranked right now, ISOs have been killing you. I'll say that as just a straight up fact. Even if you're playing ISO, you know the terror that is ISO in ranked currently. But at the pro level, there's so much spam into smokes and so much chip damage and good utility. Jorgamo is going to find it a lot more difficult to have those ridiculous snowball rounds. You see, even in that situation where he's able to pick up 2, it's tough for him to get out of that situation and stabilize with his shield.
Yeah.
This time, though, ult online, who do you actually want to get for Loud? Surely you're looking for less.
Yeah, if you get less, takes down the entire Cypher kit, so...
Yeah, but he might kill you. It's less.
He might kill you, that's true, but the shield's active now. Doesn't want to opt for using it, just backing away. Jorgamo, what would you like to do with this? I'm waiting for it, man. I want to see the gulag. Pull somebody into it, the 1v1. Just prime and ready with the undercut. A bit of vulnerability now. Spice things up, and you can see with that damage. Goes up and through now.
The shield's offline at this point.
Yeah, it is. They've waited it out.
out.
Now still with complete control. Look at this Sadak just holding onto the position. The cage might make him think twice about it.
Cage triggered.
But the fact you don't have shield available and you have the ult, so now you've lost the advantage if you want to go for an ult. It seems very weird here, hesitant from EG. They could have forced the fight if they wanted to.
You and me.
And Apop's gone down. Gulag, here we go. Let's go straight into it. 1v1 is occurring. McCowsin just gets taken out instantly. Almost instantaneously. Superman's already into the fight, and everyone's been ripped to shreds. 2 years. Chance to even it out, maybe. Not quite. Sadak in a 1v3. Plan from Derek.
Spike planted.
No disruption. The post plan is pretty impeccable stuff from EG. Nice little setup.
They still have 2 breach flashes.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they got in without even having to use those, without choosing to use those.
Nature's just going to be taking contact here. It's basically unlosable. If you are the EG players, the horn forces the issue for Sadak. He's definitely anticipating the secondary swing from Derek, but eventually landing those shots straight to the cranium. So second round out for EG, maybe starting to string and chain together. Semblance of some rounds, make it nice and even.
They did have to use big ultimates there, and Jorg being able to get that entry by dragging Kawanzin into the ult. It's pretty good. But they're not going to have access to those in the future. Here it is. Instant shot. And Kawanzin perhaps looking to try to take the fight there a bit more aggro because he knew that that shield wasn't active. He got punished for it. Getting that jump spot, seeing if there's an operator on the other side.
Pretty standard utility being used as well. Again, the full line. Vulnerable. Prowler as well. Heavy committal just to take the C mount control, but it's a pretty clear game plan. Being cooked up by EG.
Nature 2 away from getting his ult online, but instead the ult going towards Jorgamo. So heavily prioritizing this ISO ult to be able to crack open on the attack side. And that makes sense. You know, you don't have the showstopper to be able to use. So the ISO ult is a really useful addition. Pretty far away this time, though.
Gotta go.
Sadak picked one up last time in this exact spot.
It was Apop. They've made it feel like Apop is the only solo lurker once more, but the jump spot we'll see too. Gives the game away. No reinforcements really. Gonna be fast onto the play, slowing them all down with a couple of stuns. Jorgamo looking to gain some ground, potentially for the pivot, but no, they want to end themselves over towards A side. Sadak still anchoring out towards the back, but he doesn't win his fight out. Util flying forward, just trying to set this one up, and Loud! It's sheer dominance from them. Drawing a line in the sand, and they won't let them press any further into this A side. That is pure domination.
I love how Loud played the defense side there. You noted that there weren't instant rotates. Kawanzin used a Prowler. When they got the confirmation there were 2 players rubble, Kawanzin walked forwards on C, Prowler mound to know that it was clear, and Sadak actually turns around and walls up to heaven, which allows these players from Loud to dominate the heaven angles, but then also flood into sight if they need to with that cover. That's really nicely played. Good protocols on defense from Loud. Making one who's unaware, I didn't get to see him while he was playing in Tier 2 before he joined Loud. He was a duelist player. He used to play Neon, Jet, stuff like that. He wasn't dominating in Brazil, but he was like a good, solid duelist player, and they crafted him into a more passive smokes player. High-low setup.
Whoa, that's the danger that we were talking about. It was a high-low setup, and Jorgamo almost ends up winning it.
Yeah, I mean, Tui's was doing a bit of whiffing, actually. He's at the top of the scoreboard right now, though, so we'll forgive him that one.
Sadak in a
Not cleared.
Yeah, not cleared at all.
What? Hello?
Okay, just plays full patient, waits for it. Prime timing here. And yeah, takes his time with it.
Down, C.
No problems. But yeah, I quite like what Loud have ended up going for. Tui's, like I said, generally a bit more passive while he was playing on smokes. But we're seeing him actually find those opportunities to take fights a little more now because he's on Gecko. It's not a super passive initiator. It's more of a dump your utility and then go in and scale with the team and take fights. And I think that's useful for a guy who just wants to get a bit more aggro than he could when he was playing Harbor. Tui's on Harbor was like very towards the back of the pack. Didn't have as much fragging impact, but from what we've seen so far this year, he's certainly capable of it. He was really good to start 2024.
Yeah, it's very proactive. Loud, not afraid to try and fight over it. And when EG been taking that C mount control, you see the doors open wide. Dump a bit of that initiator util.
But this was the round, Brent, that we were talking about, where ults get back online. Jorg's got his, Nature as well. And Les has moved his positioning. Looking to hard anchor the B side.
Yeah.
They're just hoping that they miss the ISO ult.
Essentially, yeah. Hoping that they just end up pre-firing it. So thinking ahead with the ults they've got.
I like the idea here of Kawanzin just sending a Prowler to make it feel like he's playing on site and then running away.
Backing away,
Yeah, like little shots like this, and then run away.
Backs away.
Yeah, try to bait out this ult.
Makes a lot of sense.
But you're playing on a knife's edge. Obviously, you don't want to get caught.
Might be looking to try and take the fight again. He is right in front of this one with the ult primed and ready. It's what? I thought that was going to be missing. Not quite. Dragged into it once more. Another chance of redemption for Kawanzin. Can't quite win it though. A shield refresh. Straight back into the fight though. Sadak, he wants to try and really trying to gain that advantage for his team. Space gain. That's an ult being used, I think, by 2 years out into the open. He's going to be falling for it. ZG set up nice and tidy. Sadak, IGL himself though. To do some, a bit of spam blindly firing straight into the smoke. The shots are connecting, but this wrap-around flank, not anticipated. APOP, insurance policy. Sadak on 7 HP, he's got a little bit too much to do. Have to be a miracle. It's not going to happen.
So big ults get big results there for evil geniuses. Able to catch Kawanzin. You could see what he was doing. He's trying to get in front of those ultimates. But he just gets dragged in, and this time it's even more unfair. Previously, Jorg just straight up won a 1v1 against him, but this time, even a shield in his face. It is a bit weird, though, that Tui's ripped that ult off in the middle of Waterfall.
Yeah,
No cover?
I was second-guessing myself. I didn't know if he was ulting or what, but it looked like he was in the animation for it.
He certainly did use the ult. It's gone.
Strange one. Maybe that uncomfortability, you know? Bit of a roll switch.
But also, from Loud's point of view, you're not really that worried about the rest of the rounds in this half because EG have only won when they've had big ults online.
My ult is ready. Bring them down.
Derek earns his way up. Again, Jorgamo. He's not hiding his intent, is he? Shield popped off, going to be hearing that sound cue, but again, this battle of attrition. Superman who wins it.
Threw a smoke by the look of things, but may have had a slight angle. Can Sadak punish APOP again?
He's been punishing him consistently. I mean, APOP feeling caught out of position here when he's just trying to look and create some of that space. Superman might be popping off for him. Jump spot almost anticipated here by Sadak. He's not giving it up, is he? Wall still. Traded down for the stun. Has to prop it up, but he can't quite escape. EG might be able to pave their way a path towards the A site. There's a fast flank still occurring. 2 years. Just walking. It's watched for though. Superman is on fire right now.
Very good awareness. I don't think there's anything that Les can do in this spot. They're not even going to bother going into him.
Yeah.
They do lose one on the way out, so, you know, maybe if they just grouped up and overwhelmed him, there wouldn't have been any danger anyway. But they're choosing the safer option. Play that 3v1. Get on site, get the crossfires set up. And quite a nice round. They are punishing these repushes for information that Loud are going for in the mid-round.
Adjustments paying off. Less left to do the most. 1v3. EG's post plan again. It's so many backup policies for them, isn't it? Derek's going to be the one taking that contact, just jump spotting, backs away now. Nature, making sure main is accounted for. As soon as there's a tap onto the spike, or even not, look, shot just lands.
Yeah, lovely.
One to the cranium. 4 rounds now for EG on their attack side. I've got to say, breath of fresh air, not seeing a raise on the attack side. normally, listen, we'd be talking to death about a showstopper and going for the initiation into the C site with it.
Yeah, the meta is changing. It really is. I would say that Americas is the most resistant region to change.
Yeah.
They like tried and true, tested ideas, refined. And what we've actually seen so far in stage 2 is Clove being played, Neon being played, ISO being played. People are not just adapting to change, but embracing it.
Yeah. Feeling like there's a bit of an A fight.
Yeah, I mean, people just like playing duelist, I think.
Yeah, I do. Gonna switch up there. I mean, APOP once more dropping onto the extremity. Norafef popped off here.
You can't afford to give Jorgamo a kill. ISO's already snowballing, but he's also one away from the ultimate. So if Jorg gets something, without the shield, admittedly.
Wall up. Friends, any damage coming their way. Gives them access to it. Sadak, what is that, man? It's flying forward. Shogamo with a kill earned. It's not online, but does he really want to try and use this one? Well, he could just win the round for them if he knows where Les's position is. Isolate a 1v1. Superman could just run up straight onto the body, but they don't believe they know where he is. TP is for information. Superman cancels. They don't quite spot him. Les just has to sneak around this one.
It's you.
Avoid all of it, but he all catches it. And I don't know. The deal is up entirely. If Jordan even ended up losing it, it's an instant win.
Great round. Love the way they play it.
In the half.
Clearly thinking about those win conditions.
Yeah.
And also, again, Loud choosing the more aggressive of a few options. After Les gets this kill, there are players.
No distraction.
And they just kind of send it there into tree.
Yep.
Choosing to try to take the fight to Evil Geniuses.
Go! Go, bro. Let's go, man. This game is fucking broken.
There.
Jogamo is picking up the operator. Looking to try to take a fight. There's 4 players. Paranoia in his face and Sadak running him down.
Can't do anything though. So the weapon's going away. Doesn't want to give anything to the opposition. Tucked into the corner for a rainy day. Full A control though with the rubble. That's for Loud. They're doubled up.
Look at this trip. This trip is so nice as well against what Neon teams will often do, which is to aggressively slide onto the A lobby player. Apoth just defending himself and stopping from flanks from coming through with this setup.
Not much really changing in terms of the game plan for EG.
No, but for Loud, the slower these rounds go from Evil Geniuses, the more Loud have been incentivized to go for some kind of aggressive option for either map control or more often information. So if EG call a bit of a pump fake here, I think they might bait Loud into peeking again.
Might even commit for it. The shield actually helps out Jordan there, really winning that fight. Even with the refresh on top of it, spraying it through. A little bit labored and messy, doesn't quite win it. It's all over the place. B access for EG. Onto that site.
30 seconds left.
Good cancel there, because that almost certainly would have been a mistake to run back into Pancada unless Tuiz has a lot to do.
Certainly does. Does he want to choose and take the timing? He does right as the cam's being pulled out. Fortunate with it, but it is traded. Pancada and Les. To them now. So they can turn around the fortunes of this round. Smoke popped up, a few bullets firing. All it takes is the one to bring down Pancada. The secondary player there, Superman, just the slightest of off angle. So a 6-6 finish.
What a recovery.
Overall, great recovery from EG, have to say. But in terms of the way these comps play out, really up in the air, I think, in terms of it. You know, throwing my expectations out of the window. From what we're used to seeing on Lotus, it could still be anyone's game.
Yeah, for sure. I think Loud's composition will be very happy on the attack side, and Jogamo might find it a little more difficult to pick those good timings to take fights, pop the shield, that kind of stuff on the defense. So this is still absolutely anybody's game, but none of that changes the fact that 4 in a row was excellent for EG to close out the half.
Well, earlier we spoke with Pancada about how he found his way back all the way home to the... Now, expectations for the pistol round, again, like I said, kind of up in the air. From what we'd usually expect of Lotus being played with the comp switch-ups and how both of them are really going to be performing. EG with a heavy emphasis, looks like, on fighting over for this A control. Nature was in position to maybe let loose an early stun.
Yeah, it's all kind of fake pressure, though.
It is,
They're making it feel like it's an A fight. And in fact, this is headed towards Nature.
Dizzy and the Prowler all combined up.
Man's gonna plant spike.
Free access. Plan out
here.
into the open here with a wingman. And a heavy fight to be taken. Look at this, straight ahead of all of the util, but again, it's the bullets rattled away. And who's going to be the winner in this engagement? Even still with the shield dismissed and removed. Jogamo sits on the sidelines now and leaves it to Superman to 1v3. Damage under Kawazine, but he's got so much more to do. Got to remove a few of these players. Right clicks! Putting in that work, but only 18 health and less. He's quick on it.
It's ridiculous to see how some of these incredible aimers that we have in America are dealing with the ISOs, just double tapping headshots straight into them.
Yeah.
I was amazed watching Aspas do it, and so it seems kind of fitting that we're now watching Loud dismantle Jogamo in some of these spots too. It does feel difficult for Jorg to be able to take all of the advantages of ISO and actually convert them into this momentum that, listen, we all know it's possible. We've We've seen it in ranked, but it looks a lot more difficult in pro play. As you would expect, of course. But that's a great pistol for Loud to be able to pick up. And here, Jorg trying to make something happen again.
Just the one shot.
And he's been alone the last 2 rounds defending on C. I assume this won't always be the defensive setup. Usually Apoth is going to be playing around there in their prior comp. But having said that, Jorgamo's vulnerable could be pretty fantastic for defending C.
Yeah.
You've got 2 of those. Anytime they try to engage, they're going to be taking massive amounts of damage from that.
Bring them down.
You saw it on the first half as well. I mean, EG were using it as part of that conditioning to take C mound. Like a fault line, a bit of the vulnerable, throwing it out.
Yeah, it's very powerful on defense, but the trade-off in some sense is that it's more difficult to find your shield timings, especially if Loud are going to play slowly and contacty.
Yeah. Jorgamo in the danger zone here. And yeah, there's really no chances there for him. Needed to hit the initial one.
Yeah. And of course, doesn't have the vulnerable in this round, but, you know, just thinking towards the future. If Jorg's got a rifle in that spot and some of the...
Cover going out.
Some more abilities to be able to work with, I think it's going to be a lot more difficult for Loud to get through that choke point.
Gives us a bit of breathing room in this round here where it looks like Loud are just... I mean, it's essentially sealed up. EG just aiming to go down to the spike.
Spike's pretty far away, to be honest with you. I think Loud are going to be able to catch to going for it.
Yeah, want to farm up a couple of these eco kills too.
Get him into
these
these
players.
Not today, Fate.
Certainly get him into 2Es would be fantastic as well.
Yeah, either way. Whichever ult is going to be closest.
Enemy remaining.
Karazin is doing the hunting. Will Apoth even go down? Hello, Apoth. Apoth.
He's got it.
Ah, what a blunder! Oh boy. Oh boy.
2,700 credits.
That hurts.
Heading into the anti-bonus round. It's a good job they've drawn up that judge setup.
I think that's the fastest judge purchase I've ever seen.
Yeah. Potter's like, oh, I knew I built that judge setup for a reason.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Appropriate reactions, man. Appropriate reactions. Okay. Into the thick of things. Jorgamo, that's a fast punish.
Sadak keeps using weapons that just ruin Jorgamo's shield as well. Whenever Sadak pops his ultimate, that's incredibly good against the ISO shield. Huge amounts of like fast ticks of damage. Stingers being used out there as well. Just ways of melting through and not giving clean, honorable Vandal versus Vandal duels.
Loud feel like they've gotten an easy figure out, I think, towards the defensive setup of EG now with that punish on the Jorgamo.
Yeah, and now Apoth has to retake with a judge. I mean, this is chalked already.
Let's go on walkabouts. Fox in the pen, Sadak seeking to keep them penned into place and position just for less with the cleanup. 2 years perched up as well into this high ground angle.
Remaining.
Spotting the jump through from Apoth. Yeah, it's done.
sad. It's sad to watch, honestly, there. Apoth doesn't want to keep the gun, so he's just leaping through. Hoping desperately that somebody's right in front of him. That one was a freebie.
Yeah, we really did miss the beginning of that one, but I'm curious how the punish even went off. I saw Sadak didn't have a stun at the beginning.
Yeah,
I got to imagine it was utilized in some way. We might see it in the replay now.
I mean, part of the problem of playing against the Neon is that normal peaks that you would take at the beginning of the round are just going to get punished by the pace that Sadak can play at.
Exactly.
The stun catches there onto... It doesn't look like Jorgamo's mad out of position. Just jiggle in the corner, looking for a bit of info, maybe a cheeky kill at the very start. That's pretty standard. Yeah. It's just allowed to have a good setup and the pace to be able to punish. And unfortunately, these last few rounds, the pistol into the bonus, and especially the little blunder from Apoth may have, well, I suppose, to be honest with you, they weren't winning that round even if Apoth had a Vandal. So it's unfair, I suppose, to put all of the blame in his department. But these last couple of rounds slide in the way of Loud.
Little mistakes that are just adding up.
Yeah, they've set themselves up with a fantastic chance of taking a dead even first half and slamming it home.
Bit of that conditioning. Pancada just going to be holding on to that A-rubble.
Bring them down.
Prowler to feign like they might be pressuring forwards into B. Spike is nowhere near to being, you know, committed
Bring them down.
in any position here. Cowzen even has the ult as well. Big stack though, these EG players. There's some danger here, but the slow play just working out in Lau's favor. Everybody going for these risky maneuvers on EG's side for any sort of win that they can get.
And I like this. They've kept Pancada up towards rubble the whole time as well, giving them another option in the round. They get the info it was a B push. There's only going to be one person here.
Door, a off! Hold on, that's fancy.
Spike down A.
Just running at him with the Bucky.
30 seconds left.
Retrieve the spike.
End
All
of the
the
day,
avenues
though.
are, yeah, covered.
It's just going to be a rightful advantage, I think. Unless Pancada gets timing here,
Last
but
player standing.
surely not. Less is ultimate as well. Gives all of the information, and Loud pick up the anti-eco. Get themselves up to a pretty big advantage here. We've got to see around from EG if they have a hope of winning this map. It's Loud's map pick, of course. But you're looking for a little more on this half. It's just been too easy, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
Loud have not been challenged. This might have been one of the more close rounds.
on these round wins, but they have moved it over. I mean, 4 players essentially committed. Nature just in the connector is going to be able to send a fault line nice and early. So yeah, it's a vulnerable to Prowler. It's all being committed. A heavy util dump along with a bullet spam. So big indicator that EG are fighting heavily for that A control. And Loud just made the call now. Just go for a hard hit straight into the B site, knowing that it's going to be potentially weaker. Going for the plan instantaneously. Angles are covered. Vulnerable up. Hello, that's a very committed Thrash. Fault line there, sending it flying. No detainment though. Cowzen blinded up. And a raw bullet spam once more, doing the dirty work. That's going to be the Nightfall. Forwards now, a bit of decay damage kicking in. With the decay, Jorgamo, oh, resetting. Double tap in action. And a lot of damage done to Sadak. He's forced to back away, cowering at the side of him. Jorgamo stepping up to the challenge and more. They've overwhelmed this site now with that retake. Unless nowhere near to try and contest that one with the full defuse.
Jorgamo's been trying to get a round like that happening the entire game. He took over on the retake, chaining those together, one after another, to tear his way through Loud. I like the call from Loud as well there. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. That's cool. Punishing the player that was fighting over Blue Room. But yeah, coming out of the tag timeout, going for an instant B hit when you've normally been running slow rounds, change your tempo, throw them off their game. Love the call from Sadak there. But EG able to pull off a really nice retake, and now they have big ults, 4-player stack on A again. And we get to see Loud without pulling something fast out of the strat book. How does the slow play work against Potter's adjustment?
I do like this stuff from EG. You throw out the vulnerable, it's going to be called by less. They're going to expect that there's going to be a lot of players, but it's an instant rotation, so... it's a lot of noise being made. Jorgamo just peeks off of it. Teammate jumping and hopping around the corner and dropping like flies. That's a Loud players right now, leaving it just to the 3 of them. They have that mound control, but they don't have the spike. Slowing it down, just seeing if they can walk into one of these angles. Maybe get a free kill or two. Cowzen?
What?
Yeah, what is that?
You should never be able to pull that off. You've got bullet attack coming through the corner. The Odin should be favored. Sadak's walled his way
Oh, there's
in.
no way.
Apoth doesn't even
There's
really know that he's in.
absolutely no way.
He knows there's a chance, but he doesn't know for sure.
It's all about the game. The timings and the head spots over. Setups dismantled now. Full access to the
30
back of the C
seconds left.
site. Jorgamo revealed. How much more eager do you want to get, Sadak? That's the question. Nightfall. No tags, negative information. A lot to work off, though, if you are Sadak. You can back away. That's an ult. Committed into the gulag. Nature off onto the flank as well. This 1v1 is vitally important. And Jorgamo ends up losing it still.
Revenge
Drop
for
down,
Cowzen.
out into the open. Finally, he wins one. And he knows where the last 2 players are. He's going to push them back, him and Sadak. Sadak's going to be holding this cross. The position is good from these Loud players. Fault line. No stun there, but it is finally for Sadak. Slow to a crawl. Superman couldn't run anywhere. Nature in a 1v2. What a turnaround this has been in this round for Loud. Not willing to give anything up. The high-low setup. Full patience, full discipline. Waiting for him to walk right into the sight line. So, up to 11. And like I was saying, man, nasty turnaround from Loud.
Yeah, really well done. That was a 3v5 that Sadak basically wins. I'm not going to say on his own because Kawanzin's pick on B was also bonkers. That is so good.
Yeah.
It looks like from his POV, it barely got slowed by the Odin bullets as well. But Sadak walls in on C, dodges all of the spam, walks into a spot where Apoth is not totally sure that the new duelist of Loud has infiltrated the setup. And Sadak picks him off, top fragging for Loud, 19 kills in 18 rounds.
Bit of a brawl, feigning like it could be that heavy fight and sets up. Sadak doesn't win it. Not with the shield activated. Want us to call now for a fast pivot. All the way away, over towards the seaside, onto Mound. And nobody's playing here.
They have to respect the fact that Apoth could be here. Right? They know that there's a big setup on the other side. In fact, I think they know that all 4 players were over towards A. Now Loud looking to slow the pace down a little bit, though. They realize they don't want to hit into that Cypher setup. Can they hold off EG's lower weaponry? EG are going to want to force the fight.
Just trying to take a time in over the trip.
No map control for the attackers.
It's all over the place. Nature, it's a flash and a peek. Watching for all the EG players, though. That is wallbangable, I believe. So, yeah, Nature's not going to be long for this world. And Superman isolated. Up to 12, Loud. One more round will do it.
Match point.
I don't want to go too hot with this take, but Pancada looks quite good when he's playing smokes.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. Does appear to be a smokes player rather than a sentinel player. Don't know whether anyone ever told sentinel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 12-7 though, the score. Loud doing a great job of pivoting in these spots.
Another hard committal. This round could really just end almost instantaneously. It's on a nice edge. 40 eggs in one basket here for EG. With this committal, it's Superman. Head ripped straight off the shoulders. Door opened up, shield still active for Jorgamo, but nobody's giving him that easy fight he was perhaps hoping for. Opened up again, they can hear the sprinting and the dodging, moving around, taking a timing. What is that reset from Jorgamo? Still traded.
Look how quick there the spam is to counter and break the shield.
Everybody falling onto EG. 2v4, just to stay into the map.
Shadows traveling.
It's been a masterful showcase by Loud, I think, with this composition.
It really has. The way that they've adjusted the tempo, playing some quick rounds, comfortable, finding avenues, lurking, pivoting around the map, playing slowly, baiting out plays. Remember, this was a 6-6 half, and since then, EG have been held to only 1 round on their defense. And it's not looking like the scoreline's going to get any better in their favor. Loud's map pick a Lotus, soon to be wrapped up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the util they've got alone should be ending this one. If O-line actually does save the day there for Apoth. Stunned up in position. He enough though for him to gain that second kill. And Sadek's just toying with his food, man. Skipping, hopping all over the bloody place. Thrash below him. He's just trying to isolate one of them, but he can't do it. 13-7 will be that scoreline. Loud walk away with Lotus.
Either of these teams, you have to make your way into Stage 2 playoffs.
Yeah.
You've got to at least get a good enough record, probably somewhere around the 500 mark, to be able to get into playoffs and then prove yourself to have a run towards champions. And that is going to be very difficult for both of these teams. Though, of course, with the talent on the roster, most people would be expecting Loud to do it if only one of the orgs did. But EG surprised last year. EG getting their way into B, a fairly free site. Both of these team compositions are going to be really happy retaking.
Hello. This is going to be broken there. Really fighting over this one, Jorgamo. He's not willing to let them get even a foothold in. Double dash going to be used here with a sliding glide, man. This guy is on fire right now.
The movement abilities just fit Jorgamo so well.
Yeah.
If they gave ISO a dash, I'm sure he would have farmed even harder in
Yeah, I mean.
but to me, when I think about Jorgamo, I think about a player who takes unexpected, aggressive timings, pushes, and tries to turn one advantage into a huge advantage. And I think this Neon is going to be very different to the way that Sadak plays it. I think we're going to get to see the full range of what this agent is capable of, playstyle-wise.
Bit of a contrast between the two. It's an easy orb over towards A. EG just taking up over towards market control. Second wave of things there as well, making sure to try and take that fight. Lesto caught tucked into the corner. Won't be able to escape any of those bullets. So EG will be able to get that plant down.
And focusing all of these ult orbs into Nature as well, who's almost halfway to that first ult being online. And the fact that EG are getting a pistol under their belt, getting set up to, you know, run one of their bonus round strategies rather than have to fend off one of Loud's. These are all great starts and exactly what Potter was talking about. It is baffling, absolutely baffling, that Loud only won 3 out of 10 of the like true gun rounds. Those that weren't bonuses weren't.
Yeah, that is bizarre.
Gun versus a half-buy kind of setups. But a lot of those EG had big ultimates for. Or they came towards the end of the first half. Clean, execution-style finish to the round from Apoth. And 3 of those guns, all that were invested, kept into the bonus. So
what you were saying, right?
Yeah, some really good firepower coming into this. What we watched when we were watching Victor play on this map for NRG, he brought the attack side all the way back into overtime playing against Sentinels, because these tight areas on Sunset, it is so tough to hit a Neon sliding in. And when you've got aim as good as Jorgamo, if he's sliding in front of you, you're probably already dead. I'd like to see them try to put him in position to go for kills like that. Set up for a B split here, maybe on the bonus.
There's a lot of danger here, at least for Loud, going up against this bonus round. You know EG are going to be putting in the time into a map like this here, and already you're seeing it, man! Fully accurate. Glides forward, does not give a damn about the trips.
So good. His aim is so clean. Sadak's trying to do what he can on the opposite side of the map. Cleans up Apoth. Maybe they don't have to worry about the mid lurk too much. But guess what? Jorgamo's already reflanking in that spot. You'd expect the Neon to still be trying to challenge Market. Backside. Jorg's already there.
He's rapid. He's just playing with the man. Look at him.
He could leave. He could go back in.
He doesn't know what he wants to do.
He's 7-1 already. He can do what he likes.
The decision's made for them. And Loud's saving away at his 3 rifles. Sadak low enough there.
Yeah, they've won some 3v5s so far in this match, but this is not going to be one of them. Trying to get back into the site. Everybody in B main, these kind of post plants are very difficult to break at the best of times. So it's ridiculous, honestly, that you're looking at the stats. If you only looked at the stats page of map 1 and you see, you know, 13 first kills for EG on Lotus, and then you're seeing Jorgamo 8-1 in first kill to first death, 300 ACS on the ISO, you would expect that the scoreline would be closer and Jorgamo would have felt like he dominated the game. But he really didn't. They held the ISO down to only having stats impact. Whereas now he's on the Neon, he's unleashing devastation upon Loud. And creating so much space with what he's doing as well.
Important final kill as well, that he managed to wrangle the rifle out of the hands of the one Loud player. Only got the 2 to work with in this one, the rest of it a bit weaker with the weaponry. See a standard taker market. EG been doing this with the fault line, the Prowler. It's all going to be accompanying Jorgamo. He's quick to really just evade that one as well, with a one-way and a flash heading his way.
Still got another slide. Can afford to use them on stuff like that. Now, Sadak's just trying to play this in a more standard, you know, reserved manner, where he's taking some space on the opposite side, playing an aggressive angle, giving his team information, not trying to dominate the game with his rifling. That's what I'm talking about when I say that both of these Neons are going to play so differently here on Sunset.
That's just not with the crosshair placement in this one. It's open access over towards the B side. Jorgamo, just don't know which direction this guy's going to be moving in. Slowing it down, just walking. Ult still out though, stunned up. My God, might be getting ahead of himself here. Up onto the flank with Apoth falling. Creates an opening now for Loud to really capitalize. Do they want to jump onto this one here again? Stun, locking him and rooted to the spot. Jorgamo, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Sadak. South now into the back of the site. They've got less things to worry about with Apoth, who was cleaned up prior, as we were talking about. Fault line. It's going to be used, the first wave of defense here, to try and push them back and away from this one with a couple of bullets and a raw spam. Might be enough to take away a kill or 2, but it goes in either direction. And who can win out this fight? It's a very difficult retake to even make happen. Cowards in sticking! Pancada! He covers it all, though.
Beautifully done there from Loud. Very difficult to crack these B main post plants, but the coordination between Sadak and Pancada was fantastic. Another situation where Sadak does not dominate with the rifling, but sets up another player on his team to have that impact. And yet another round, by the way, where EG get the first kill and end up losing. Felt like they should have been able to get extra kills through the smoke, but that is just the nature of post plants like that. Sometimes things are not going to quite go your way when you're relying on pinging.
Does he see nothing, but full line still set in Sadak. This guy is eager to draw blood. No one willing to stand and fight the guy, though. That's a delayed paranoia. Will force out a lot of util on either side once more. 2 years spamming down a few stray bullets. Just catches onto that cranium, man! I don't know exactly what Jorgamo is. Sadak, this guy, is galvanizing with his performance. And hopping in the spot. Superman with nowhere to run. That's a flawless finish to that round there. Loud finally getting their feet back underneath them with a second round here overall in the map.
What was that prediction onto Jorgamo?
Yeah.
Perfection from Sadak as he just throws his lightning fingers through over to elbow. Couldn't see him, but just thought that that would be the kind of spot that Jorg would try to fight in, helping the rest of his team. And playing off the thrash there, coordination beautiful from Sadak and 2Es. On the other side of the map, by the way, complete opposite side, no action happening, but less throwing an aggressive cam, looking for information. And this time they've got a cam that spots A main. And again on the other side, playing for info, so really heavy info setup in the outskirts of the map.
What? Okay.
Wow.
Look at the catch that one. They do. The stun is true. Right onto 2 years.
I don't even know where EG are ending.
I mean, I don't know either. It's all over the place right now with the players just holding down the positioning. At least for Loud, making sure that all the stragglers get caught there. That was all over the place from EG.
It's a bit bizarre. I think they were trying to hope that Loud would rotate to try to help 2Es in that spot, but
You've got to give them time to rotate.
yeah, and Jorgamo and Apop were just ended up away from the fight. Jorg's got caught.
Seemingly just walking straight into the trip. Less play for his life.
Now that is a lovely wall.
Nature with the plan. Nothing to push him back and away from this one, so into the post we go. Full line's good to slow.
There.
Same with the aftershock, but they know these players' positions now. At least they got her. Stun's good.
I know exactly.
Paranoia even better. Apop has to defend him now. Has to be the bodyguard. Get down, Mr. President, but Nature. Now might be your time to show up and turn up into the fight. Pushing past it. One player left alone. It's him. Isolated. Attack from Pancada. He needs to fight, though. Nature, will it be granted it? Will it be given? Not quite anything. Plucked out of the scene there. So Loud making it nice and even. 3-3 up for the scoreline.
It's another round, though, where EG have a set play, use a breach ult to be able to get a pick. Start things off with a player advantage, and yet, I don't want to say half-baked, I think it was overcooked. They were only committing to a B split with 3 of their players, because Jorgamo was waiting for people on A, and Apop was lurking A.
Shameful performance.
A strange one.
I think if you're going to commit your breach ult like that, you might as well be going for an A split through mid. But I'm not sure whether that was a bad idea, a failed execution of the idea. Difficult to know when that's the first time we've seen EG run that strat.
There. Bring them down.
And the money's not looking too good for EG. Prowler's good. Dizzy even better. Potentially there with the stuns. On either side, just seeking to defend these players who are caught. Really isolated. Popped down into the position. Derek is rattling away. Shot to the Sheriff, but finally brought down to his knees. Plan from Nature, though. That space given. Jorgamo! Not with a crosshair placement. Not expecting the player was going to be there. Nature obtains the upgrade, but the plan position is not good for him if he wants to play this angle here, unless he gets this kill. But Pancada is sharp. It's on point today with a lot to prove.
And he's looking great. He hasn't been the player that's taken over the game necessarily, but just so solid in his positions. Every time he's asked to do something, he delivers on it. Very stable player, Pancada, and that was exactly how he was when he was up at the top of the scene with Loud.
Ult is ready.
Now on map 1, the frag differential was massive between these two squads. EG only had 2 players that were popping off, and that was Jorgamo and Superman. Superman's down now at the bottom of the scoreboard, only 1 and 5.
Seemingly misinterpreted numbers, thinking it had been eliminated already, but
I mean, I think that was a joke.
it was a joke from last year with Cryo, yeah. I mean, it tripped a lot of people out, myself included.
Unless Boostio really thinks he was playing against MIBR, in which case that's even more disrespectful.
Yeah. We waiting his retirement eagerly. Jorgamo out. We're close to that status. Nightfall being used to supplement. I'm not sure if that tagged onto the corner, but the Prowler, well, it just doesn't quite land it. Really just sliding straight to Pancada, not able to gleam anything more out of the round. Still, with him dropped. Side with the op. That's just a contact play to get back up onto the angle. What a committal by 2 years.
Yeah, Loud are finding these opportunities where they feel incentivized to go for the info peak, to go for a play because they're down at a spot. And that's where EG have been finding success, is by adding these pauses, the slower pace into the game like this, and then punishing Loud for going for the stuff like that. Apot's wiggling his way through on the other side of the map, trying to find out where these players are, playing for information. The only disaster here for EG would be if Les is not spotted, but the spike is headed over towards B.
Yeah.
Now, if both of the initiators die, though, on A, that would be bad.
Would be dire. Less.
Planted.
Hello, this guy's catching it. Apop, though, surely. He's going to be hearing Sadak, but Sadak does have the operator. Les is clearing him up, man. You said it could be bad. You got to be worried in this spot.
The time, though, is off massively
No
on
way.
EG's side.
The patience.
He's missed it.
Surely he doesn't get punished
No,
for
he's
it.
fine.
Yeah, okay.
I thought Sadak had full-on run into sight there.
Les knows where one of them is, though. There's the cam. Spike's ticking, though. So goes the chances. Cage doesn't quite cover the spike either, so
is no problem.
Superman going to be aware that nobody's on this one, and already that's going to be the win into the round, so... EG. Do want to keep these guns, I believe. Money's not looking too hot.
Yeah, it would be nice to keep the weaponry. Not completely necessary, but good for them. Only Superman's able to be carried into the next. I think, though, that kind of round is what they need to be going for. Map control at the beginning, trying to take fights. We've seen how good Neon is over towards Elbow. And then slow it down. Do I agree with Derek and Nature hanging around in Elbow for that long? No, I think they should have doubled up and left, but they still had the round secured at that point, basically. So I don't really need to nitpick. Is Kalanzine going to think about ulting into A lobby if Sadak gets pressure?
Oh, that's a lot of util. The aftershock, man. I mean, slows paranoia. It's all use. It's a foul combination once more. And they want to send the roll in front on top of it. Superman, it's way ahead of it. Forwards and around. Just tripping them out, I think, with the Prowler in their faces. Jorgamo now floating it with the overdrive in his hand. No one in sight. Rapid start and basically finish to the round. Still a 2v3 for Loud. They might see if they can maybe get a kill, maybe make a go of things, but it's a hard ask. Reload, heard, Superman has to reposition. Neurotheft going to be revealing that position. Doubled up now. Side by side through market. The swing needs to be good, and it is. Movement and shot even better from Les. Same needs to be set though for these EG players, and they do take the fights together in kind. Nothing slips. 2 years dropped to just 30. It won't take much to really topple this guy. Cage dropped. Doesn't know where the player is. Only 7 bullets now. An impossibility. Just got to back away. Maybe force them to just stick around. Maybe take a few guns away.
Go, go, go! Gotta go!
EG up to 5.
And despite losing a player over towards B lobby at the very beginning of that round, they just carved their way in through market. Superman with a really nice play as well. Just crossing up Loud over there. This is how Nature died at the very beginning of the round.
I mean, that's where our attention was, right?
Yeah.
But this is what was occurring over towards mid and market.
Yeah, and the market pressure just ended up being way too much, and Apoth actually slipped through top mid as well and ended up coming around behind. And I love the idea of doing that. Apoth getting a bit more aggressive on the lurk off the back of that distraction is a great idea.
Oh my goodness, I mean, Sadak's ahead of all of it.
Where are you?
I think that's only Jorgamo's second first death all match.
He's been dominating.
I think he's 13-2 right now, if I've been, you know, if we're keeping track correctly. But that is monstrous. Huge to get him out of the round early on for Loud.
That's been that sticking point for Loud to be able to get those rounds on the board. Aftershock should force the fight out into the open. Still, Apoth gets the one. It's good on him before being traded. High ground from Superman. Dodging most of the util going their way, and it's just bullets flying forwards into these smokes. All the angles that are expecting these players. Les will maybe take a timing. Looking to get ahead of this one. Rolling Thunder, just going to be pushing him back into safety. Quick hops. Nice moves all around, and he is being defended. Overzealous by nature. It's 2v2.
That's a rough mistake there. Asking for way too much. You're in a 3v2 scenario, play crosses, make it tough for Loud. They only had a paranoia to work with. EG cannot let this one fumble.
Already swept through and used.
enemy
Playing inside the
remaining.
smoke now. Derek, great kill to find. Pancada is left alone. 1v2, jump spots. Or from Derek just seeking to buy a bit of time here. Superman is nowhere in sight, but Pancada's surely got to be worried about this one. Setting up a bit of a smoke in the one way. Still Derek's buying that time. He's such a nuisance and annoyance. No way, Pancada. Absolutely no shot.
Death.
Ticking. I believe the opportunity slips away.
Touch and go just for a moment. But EG managed to win a round without Jorgamo getting the first kill.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the key.
Jorgamo,
Maybe
throw
that's
your
the
life
key.
away.
It's not like they've been converting many of their 5v4 rounds. But this map's been a bit better. It's again another fairly competitive first half.
Remaining.
But EG is starting to pull out into the lead with 3 rounds in a row. Last time Sadak had his ult online, he was destroying people over towards A lobby. They're going to make it feel like the same
they got for
again,
it.
but this
Yeah.
time he's coming tiled.
Insert and pressure. It's been applied all over the place here. Still in his hands. How has he landed that? Plenty of targets to work with. Just jumps right into the open arms of the EG player, so he's traded him.
He went back in for more.
He did.
What is he thinking?
He's just manic,
Gotta
man.
go.
Jorgamo waiting to strike. Slides forward, still at the full accuracy, but Prowler just did not assist him in the slightest. Plenty of players now watching for this one, and it's over just like that. Okay.
These rounds have been so back and forth.
Yeah.
They just,
Last round before
they
the switch.
genuinely have no relevance to who gets the first kill. No, there is no correlation here. It might be a negative correlation. But, you know, Sadak is coming down mid. He does get the opener, gets traded instantly. But then as EG try to use, I don't know, a bit of the information to push forwards, they must know that they're going into a stack there as well. That was where the initiator utility came from to open up Sadak's play.
I don't know, man.
It feels like both teams are just getting pulled into the maw, finding it difficult to slow down the pace with the neon on both sides.
Something to the fights here. It's a weaker bye for the final round of this first half. Nightfall is going to be committed. Thrash used in kind. 2 years. So you can push this one back, but a stun slows it down. Not going to be able to find anything. Might be able to reclaim the orb, at least for round 2 of things, but potential for a refight. Sadak might even be eager for it. Ults cancel. It's going to be shot in place.
Thrash is ready.
Player disadvantage for EG. That's why they're slowing this one down here. One and done position. What's going to be called? Sadak playing together with him, and the fight to 1 out. Loud.
Enemy.
Just dominating across the board here. It's a clean, almost sweep from them. Kawazine was left alive, but 6-6 will be where they finish here for the first half of
Switching
Sunset.
sides.
Dead similar to what we saw on Lotus. Lotus, it was 4 rounds in a row from EG, I think it was, towards the end to bring them back into the game. This time it's Loud with a bit of a recovery, but it's so brawly.
Yeah, they just opted into the fights.
Yeah, I like the idea of slowing the round down when you're up a player because it forces Loud to make something happen, but EG really getting sucked into the game in a way that they couldn't control.
Yeah, well, my brain are the first kills and the correlation there. But to be honest, just because the first kill is like, the gun rounds are going even and the rounds are even, doesn't mean that, the teams that are getting the first kills are winning those rounds. Could be that both of these teams are losing people and winning the rounds still.
It's very true. I mean, towards the end of that half, though, it was a little more correlated.
I'm out of here.
I'm interested to see what Loud have got cooked up on their attack side, though, because I think Sadak called a really nice game from Duelist on Lotus. That's a rarity. We used to have quite a lot of Duelist IGLs at the very beginning of the game.
Repeat, Sadak, what are you doing there, man? Pulling out the sprint, seeing if you could escape, potentially, with the glide, but no.
Trusting heavily in Pancada's paranoia that it was going to push people off the line. And just not quite getting that priority when he wanted it. It's a pretty standard kind of map control play, but this time EG disrespect it. And I think that's what you get from Jorgamo. You get a lot of disrespecting of opponent's utility and unconventional timing.
Whew. That shot lands, but EG quick to shore up the defenses. It's a great beginning for the pistol around here. It's slow and steady, but enough to get the job done. Fault line forwards. Derek. A lot of damage returned to him towards the top section of mid. Tap, tap, tap going to Ghost, but again, no casualties. It's Loud are the ones who need to find them.
Jorgamo is on the flank here. And I think he's got really nice timing too. He's just taking it
30
slow.
seconds left.
Two players ready to go.
He knows everything. Inside the smoke as well, so anti-flash being played. 2 years, a bit of spam. He seems to be aware of it. Instinctual, but yeah, from behind. Wrap around, snap around. It's 2 years. Quick 180. There's a lot more to do where that came from. So, pistol round win for EG. They're taking a lead now in this map.
So both pistols go the way of Loud on Lotus. Both pistols now going the way of EG here on Sunset. So that's one of the ticks in the box in terms of the things that Potter was trying to pay attention to and reinforce within the team. And just in case you're wondering, Jorgamo 8-1 on Lotus in first kills to first death. 6-1 at the moment here on Sunset.
Man.
14-2 total first kill to first death. Utterly, utterly dominant at setting his team up for advantages.
Quick pre-fire for the Dizzy. Around like this. Risk to be taken by Loud. EG do have, going for the 3 rifle by 2 pistols, keeping it in, seeing if they can get something really healthy and dangerous going for the bonus, but it does open up a bit of a danger zone.
If he gets another first kill here, he's going to be 7-1, which would be quite fitting against the Brazilian team.
Fuck yeah. Almost going down to that spam. Defensive setup, though, is pretty concrete, at least for EG's side of things. Les does take away a nice easy kill there onto Superman, but it's evened out. Jorgamo, once more, go on walkabouts. With the kill onto Superman, it's forcing EG to make a call to try and reclear something. They're seemingly unaware of this. And
they've got an open...
open avenue all the way up towards the B side. Jorgamo, though, he's so fast at this one. He's sprinting right onto him with the spike drop down and the door in your face. They did. They're just, locked out of position, locked away from any chance of winning the round.
Karanzine usually has the spike. He's playing Breach. I think he thought for a moment there that he'd got through with the spike. I believe it was him who just closed the door, locking himself off from the play.
Go, go, go.
EG not going to have a huge amount of weaponry here on the bonus. Not expecting this one to be particularly dangerous. But, if Jorgamo can land a ridiculous kill with a Guardian, then, of course, it still could be. But this is where Loud have an opportunity to stabilize. It was double bonus rounds that set up Loud so well on Lotus. EG would love for something like that. It just doesn't look likely. 2 sheriffs.
They've given a rifle over to Jorg.
Yeah, that's a nice idea.
Yeah.
If there's anyone that's going to make it happen, it would be him.
Holding down the A main chokehold. Side by side, him and Derek.
If there was ever a round to run a slow default, it would be this one. Prowler detects the trip, breaks it, so now bodies are going to have to stay.
A stun as well, this movement. Jorgamo, so good. Wants to hack middle, but no, he just fades all of it.
That stun from Jorg is so nice. The relay bolt flicked behind a 180 as he's moving away to stop any follow-up from the fault line. Oh, immaculate. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, high IPM type beat.
Right there.
This trip's going to be a bit of a nuisance as well, Apoff. Touch close to the corner.
One aftershock actually is going to break both of these trips though. Classic
Force Apoth
aftershock
out
in
of
that spot.
position. Yeah, okay, so well. Still locked into the corner to Dizzy. A little bit delayed there. Saturday not even to play over this, and it hasn't been called correctly. Still, the classic. Kawazine is there. Superman even better with that Sheriff. Might be golden for it.
Cover going out.
Smoke dropped. So one way onto the top of the box. Derek ensuring the mid is cleared out before he really commits into this one with a full retake. They do have time on their side to go slow and steady onto the approach, and it would be that bonus round conversion for EG. They'd love for it. Smoke though. It's Pancadas. We'll force some forwards here with the aftershock as well. Out of the way. Superman sticking. Bit of miscommunication in terms of where this has been planted. It's actually in front of the pillar. They're spamming it to the left into the wrong spot. So EG just get a free defusal all the way. Listen, it's crispy at the end, but a bonus round win for EG. They planted in a different spot.
Yes. That might be a lack of experience from 2Es playing Gecko. It's not a normal spot to plant there. The meta spots to plant are on the corners, kind of on the ramp, where all of your spam is going to land on the diffuser. Instead, he pointed it straight at the pillar. Wingman went over and planted in a spot where you can be on a full half circle. And also, it looked like the pings were
I feel like the pings were off, yeah.
But that's just, I mean, it shows you the spike on the minimap. Yeah. So
I don't know. I don't know.
Shouldn't be missing the pings.
Maybe I'm...
On the other side of things again, I think the KD was 20 and 9 from less on Lotus. And it's still looking fearsome here. He's got the hero rifle.
Gotta go.
And I think that's who you really want to have it in their hands.
He's been performing. But so is Jorgamo. He's relentless right now in the series, in the map. No clearance into the corner. Apoph's going to be covered there. Wolf just to get him out of dodge. And Paranoia to supplement. Jorgamo, he's hunting even further. This guy, man! He can't be stopped!
It's so nice. God, the utility is brilliant. Apoth has pushed down mid. He throws the wall for Apoth to escape.
Yeah.
Dashes so that he avoids the utility coming his way. Stuns so he can follow up. Dizzy in his face, doesn't even bother. Uses the second slide.
He's operating on a different level, man.
He's actually, his brain moves faster than the average human.
I'm watching him do it. I can't think that fast. The orders of operations, man, that he's having to do.
It's so nasty good. Get him onto full-time Neon. I mean, the ISO was fun. It was cool, but he's cooking.
Yeah, movement agents, he's cooking.
I'm out of here.
So Loud had absolutely no chance in that round. Eco and Jorgamo masterclass. So, wait, what is this? He's up again.
He's pushing them in.
He's up again. They just can't get a handle on where he is and what he's doing. It's another first kill to add to the list.
The disrespect is crazy. The wall, though, it's propped up, seeking that engagement. Sada gliding, and at least there is that follow-up, so it's traded. Loud, not quite with the advantage, but at least it is a 3 versus 3. No backside control. Again, that plant, it's going to be going towards the pillar. Nature, do you really just let this one go straight past? Seeking the timing. Dizzy connects. He's missed his opportunity and his chance. He was hoping he said a player would walk in front of him. But he's still alive for the retake, and that's what matters now.
Same plant position, by the way, so that 2Es can play off it in market.
In front of the pillar, with him going down, it's going to be much more difficult to play this post plan. A lot's going to be asked for from Les and Kawazine. Util in their hands. Quick tap, Kawazine, fault line, Sprez. That's going to be an aftershock, and it should clear them off, but Apoth gets half anyway. There's no way. It missed! Just slightly ajar. Again, this man plant positioning EG up to 11.
Well, Loud took a tag timeout to talk about their post-plant setup, so you've got to imagine, and that is just another disaster. It's hard to tell exactly where the mistake is there. Is it slightly off in terms of the plant spot when he's throwing in the Gecko, throwing in the Wingman, sorry? Or is it Kawazine who's just missing the aftershock in that position? Either way, disaster.
Yeah.
And yeah, that plant position is, it's good for market, but it isn't as good for the B main post-plant. Anything.
It'll be all over the place.
But Loud desperately need to put something on the board here. They're going to force. So 2 stingers One of which is on Sadak, and Sadak has his ult, so it's really not that bad of a buy.
Less danger there, but he's going to let it loose almost immediately. Look at this guy, putting his way forwards. For a way into the site, looking almost for a kill as well. Apop! Pointed directly towards him, he knew where to pre-aim. Still, they did get that side access. Trips dealt with. The player disadvantage, mosh pit. Straight to the corner, no players there.
Jogamo's very, very late to this.
To the back of the site, flash, what a connection! Multitude of targets, Paranoia delayed and even misses. No way to follow up onto this one. Loud in shambles in terms of how they want to play this one, and they can't get a hand to Joggamo! It is pure filth, man! Josh is levering and he's almost pulled the headset off his head. What am I watching? Dude, I mean, I don't know.
What am I watching?
I don't know. Forget the tactical shooter label.
They released Valorant 2!
Dude, it's an arena shooter now.
Jogamo's playing Valorant 2!
Dude, TF2 fans, we are so back.
What is this? He's crushed
That is crazy.
so bad,
That is
man.
actually crazy. He broke the ankle so hard. That is actually filthy. I can't believe
The
it.
way that he's weaving his movement and then throwing out stuns mid-movement. You remember the previous round where he was getting away from the fault line punish? 180 flicks and throws out the relay ball as he's sliding away.
He's on a different level right now. There's never been a firmer knee on him.
Oh my God!
Aftershock. It's in his face once more with a glide. Still, that's a connection and shut down onto Sadak.
I mean, nice from Sadak, but it's only a 140.
Yeah.
Brutal. Taken out. And on top of that, Tui's falls, drops the spike. I mean, this has been a joy to watch. And a pure reflection of what we saw on Lotus.
And he wants more. Look at this guy. The whole team capitalizing. Doesn't matter if he goes down. One left standing. It's Pancada. 12-6. It's all on his shoulders to get the map continuing, but in all reality, we are almost certainly heading to Icebox.
Pancada's, I just think, has no hope of converting this, and EG know it. Superman closes things out. And what a performance from
Territory, you have to imagine. No more of the own map picks, Icebox, and EG. What are they cooking?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Chogamo is obviously having an incredible day, but the ISO, it wasn't able to find huge amounts of value on Lotus. There was a lot of spam through smoke, spam through walls to stop the shield from gaining momentum. You can definitely spam through smokes on this map, for sure, but like, the walls are not as penetrable. It's possible Jorg just starts dominating here if he gets a snowball going. Good Nano Swarm denies the wingman.
To the jeers of the crowd. Another tap from Sadak.
Yeah, but they're going to have to wait for the next wall cycle. And this is now difficult for Loud. They haven't got the plant down. Everybody on EG knows that they're trying to go towards B. And Apot's getting some level of decent info in mid. Wall back up. Wingman back out.
Does he over the supplement? Jogamo. Has he got that one from Shield out? It's activated. Bit more breathing room as well for him to try and take some of these fights.
Good wall from Apoth.
Here we go, centered flying forward, one of his own. Jogamo already eating up a bit of that damage with the diffuse. Not sure they got half or not. Loud just want to choose to stand their ground and face it all. There's damage done to the last two players of EG. It's still a 2v2. Anyone's game. Anyone's round. Running forward, Superman realizing he has to get a bit of a move on, but the shots all on point now for the Loud players. 2 years and less. Shut it down here and wrap it up nice and pretty here for the first pistol round of Icebox.
I think that's a sick idea, though, from EG. Throw out the ISO wall and get half behind it. It was almost impossible for Loud to be able to deny that. They just had the thinnest angle. There it is. And if you look at the timer, it was milliseconds away from getting that permanent half on it. Now, if they can adjust that slightly so that it's somebody else getting on the defuse as Jorgamo pushes forwards with his own wall, I like it even better. You know, there's ways of refining that, but clearly cooking with the ideas.
They shot her. Sana.
Loud playing the no duelist composition on the other side of things. We know roughly how they're going to want to play this.
Poison's off.
Both teams, though, are going to have these smokes from the Clove and the Omen in more unexpected positions. Fankata falls, but that's not a rifle denied. Superman, though, if he's able to get a pick, that's then danger.
No one's watching it.
Spike
Potential
down
there for a
B.
second when Spike dropped down. Denying it. The gun's going a bit amiss here.
You can't reconnect with Les. Les is getting space on A, but how are you going to cross in mid?
Can't afford to lose any more of these guns.
Derek's going to hear this.
Should at least one pair of footsteps.
No
Make the
contest.
call.
I
Yeah.
thought they were going to maybe try to fight.
But they pinged it out. So calling for a heavy stack of EG, then making sure that they move players over towards this direction. They know that Les has got this space. Hearing that shield. Up and away. Les, man. That's just goddamn sharpness.
He's too good.
Yeah.
His
Spike
raw
planted.
aim, his crosshair placement, and how calm he is under pressure.
There's definite chances for EG, or at least there were, but now just the classic in hand. Too much for Derek to overcome, so second round's there. Only blessing in disguise, really, is that they did a bit of that damage to the economy of Loud. Only 2 of the rifles getting saved. See if it makes a difference.
They only came into the round with 3 anyway, so
Yeah,
it's
so
really
they
not
still
gonna
buy
be
up
too
into
bad.
it.
Yeah.
Neutralize.
We're going to see EG fighting all over the place. And certainly when you look at the team composition, the 2 heavy hitters from map 1, Jorgamo and Superman for Evil Geniuses, those 2 players are going to need to step up on defense as well. That's your ISO and Clove. Those are the players that are going to be looking to try to take fights, especially when Clove's ult is online.
Dodging and weaving the initial util. Another high tide is going to be just separating them away from the A site. Slow and steady though. Looks like that's the game plan for Loud. No overstepping themselves. Make sure that they watch it with some crossfire angles.
Pulled people away over towards mid. They're looking for information, despite the fact that the turret and the alarm bot are both down, are both active, I should say. Both been placed in mid for the defense. So EG go through, break the turret, make it feel like they're in mid, and now they're back over towards A. Just trying to mess with Sadak's understanding of what the defensive setup is.
Drone not seeing anything here. Less left alone over towards the A side. Everybody heading over
The
towards
ult orb
B.
here? Yeah, Sadak can pick up ult orb and then get thrashed with plant.
It's faking.
Doesn't even
want to
go
pick up the orb.
30
Doesn't even
seconds
go
left.
for the orb.
I'm back with 30 seconds left now. Les hasn't given up the space, still has the front section of A, so they don't have to hard re-clear this. They can save what they util now for the back of the side, but just slightly ajar there. Les not expecting that somebody, at least that he's going to be visible on that angle. Nade at the floor, time running short, running away from them almost entirely, but the high ground angle's enough to just at least cover this one, but the spike has been denied from the plant. Sadak has to stick this one himself now, has to be guarded, and he will do just that. So the plant down now, his team helping him out over the shoulder with the shots.
On the loose.
Still gets Thrash online. Pushes back. That line of scrimmage.
Oh, the bait!
Back! Lovely!
Great movement. And the last player detained. 2 years. Holding it down. The pre-fire Superman. Maybe he shouldn't be getting away with this one. He's left it to the 1v1. Superman comes online at exactly the right time.
Perfect moment, bailing Loud. Or bailing EG, sorry, out of a round that would have seen Loud get up to an enormous advantage.
That's a crazy one to win.
It's a ridiculous 1v3. Small, unforced error there from Les.
Enemy remaining. Refreshing.
But that's beautiful shooting.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that Superman was putting together map 1, and he cooled down a little bit on Sunset, but it didn't matter because everybody was working well, and Jorgamo was dominating. Now he's back. Clovel online, Superman can take really aggressive fights. Over towards A. Fighting with Jorgamo around 410.
Looking for this guy to get active. Bit of the util being used though, just posturing them away. Still with a heavy, heavy control and hold. Onto away by the EG players with the 4 players committed. Does leave Nature a little bit, wary. You can see this guy is just jiggling into mid. because he doesn't have a turret or an alarm bot to watch that angle, so it's all being committed over towards the B side. Mid is a big avenue that's just open right now for Loud. Of course, Loud don't know this. Man, this guy, it's on point. That's an ult that is not going to get value. Superman,
there's no way.
He's getting an assist or a kill. I mean, Les is actually still sticking around, though. Close to the corner. Middle, misses. Out wide with a pre-fire. Expected. Superman who had to make the play there in that moment. Still, action over towards the B side now. Mid, watch for Les. That adjustment is ridiculous. It's Loud. We're just picking up all the pieces, forging a path to success and around with it, man. That is a 3-1 finish now in the round. This map here on Icebox.
And we were looking a lot at what Les was doing over on the other side of the map, you know, battling Clove and then fighting in mid. But on B, the actual exec itself, both of these teams are going to be playing aggressive post-plant positions a decent percentage of the time. Not every single time, but because they're both playing Clove, Omen, you can put smokes on the bridge that connects top nest to kitchen, and you can try to fight on site. You can smoke off orange, you can take more space. And in this spot, they took space on site and then even threw paranoia into Snowman. It actually gives you so many different ways of playing those post plants rather than just the standard, we are going to plant and then fall back to yellow. It actually makes the map much more interesting.
Kada's job just to contain. So his teammates had his back as well. But a risky, eco play by EG. 4 players up the gut, seeing if they get a cheeky kill. Doesn't work out.
Les is playing fairly aggressively as the Sentinel player over towards A. You know, he's not scared of anything. And I think one of the reasons for that is that EG are not running a jet, so he's not really worried about like an early push across the ropes, updraft, into your face, that kind of play. He's just taking space and getting good info for the team. Now everybody comes back into Superman.
He's missed it.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah, there was a chance there.
Yeah, but not too much more in the round. Though, of course, Superman can still apply smokes, but that'll only really matter if EG can get a kill or something to make this a bit more even.
Terry not expecting the wall to just drop down in his face.
That's cool.
That is cool. Rebound on a flash. Full blinded up onto Jogamo. He was not expecting that.
Yeah, a little bank shot. And Nature left to just try to deny his own ult orb, basically. Yeah, not gonna happen. But Cowan Zine, he has that KO ult already. Yeah, I think the fact that EG are gonna try to look to take fights with the ISO and the Clove is a little strange in some kind of sense because they don't actually have flashes to set up those aggressive fights. And so they have to just try to contest areas, dodging utility, and then primarily the double smokes comp is going to want to play for retake. So,
yeah.
It can do multiple things, but not as well. Normally you'll see one nanoswarm on site to try to block that wingman plant, you know, no matter which site he's playing on. But here, I feel like if it was a B hit, Nature would just be getting caught in the null command anyway. Trying to play his utility forwards, but it's a stack on A, and that's where Loud are headed. I think just early pressure here and then playing around the harbor roll is gonna be your best chance of success.
Noise being made. Fights to be taken and one out by the Loud players instantly. It's a no command. That's a rip now, emanating out into the site, but almost not even necessary. It's overwhelming.
It's over. Cowan Zine deliberately knocking himself so he can get res back up with full HP.
Oh, doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter at all. No, it really doesn't. It's a 4v1 and Nature left again alone, was on the opposite side of the map. His team had the correct stack, but I think this is a trap that a lot of teams with the Clove can end up falling into. And we certainly saw this, as Wyatt was talking about with Life from FPX in Shanghai.
Yeah, just...
Clove is actually not that great at playing aggressively before their ult is online. If you're gonna play that crossfire in a super aggressive position, you don't actually have the... Oh, wow.
Oh, my.
A brutal way for Nature to fall. Just trying to keep the gun online.
You are right. I mean, yeah, it feels like everything in Clove's kit leans itself to playing more aggressive, but it doesn't really suit it in a certain sense. Other comps do it better.
Yeah, I mean,
if you want to play aggressively up close, like if you have some flashes available at least, you know, you look at the comps that Loud are playing now.
Yeah, and not just the flash to go super aggro, but if you want to play an off angle like that, pick Reyna.
Yeah.
Like, I know that seems a bit silly. Nobody's really playing Reyna at the moment, but it is viable to play Reyna if you want to fight on unusual angles like that on ice bots. And Clove is not Reyna. They are very different, even if all of your Reyna mains are now playing Clove in ranked. I guess they've all moved on to ISO at this point.
Yeah. And the money's not looking too hot. EG.
Right there.
Got to get around on the board at some point.
Yeah, they've kind of squandered their best opportunity.
Here. That's what I was saying before the timeout, right? It was the pivotal round. One that was going to make the most sense for them to try and win, invest everything into, but being pushed apart. Undercut.
All of this pressure is just to allow Pancada to out Cube as well.
Not able to get a refresh there.
Too easy.
Double tap. Does a cancel the ult. Just to trip them out a little bit.
I mean, I don't like the idea of going mid to A on an anti-eco round. I thought they were running it as a bit of a distraction so that Pancada could slip through, but he's not gone for the more aggressive option. I like Pancada's positioning, though, once they commit to A. It's not like they have a ton of utility to get him out.
Could get messy, man. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, losing these players. Jogamo has ult and a rifle, too. Very easily can turn the tide of all of this one. And the ult snaps him up. It's going to be a 1v1 that's occurring. I believe 2 years is going to be caught in it. And isolates the fights all over the place. 2 years. He does win his out. Jogamo dropping, but they know where the body is, and that's an easy collection. With Superman getting all that one. So 12 seconds left. Unwinnable now for Loud. Just falls to pieces. And Pancada will be afforded a few of them, but it's not a round win. It's EG with a thrifty. Needed to happen.
It did for EG, but I think that's a pretty horrible way of playing an anti-eco round for Loud. I mean, anti-eco rounds, generally speaking, you want to be setting up some kind of like 4-1 default. One player goes and sees if there's a stack on one side. You get ready to react into the opposite direction. You don't do something like walk through mid to A where you're open to tons of different angles. It's a cute idea to throw in on a rifle round where you need something unusual to happen, but I don't like this game plan for Loud. And they did end up getting punished for it. Keep it simple, Sadak.
Dart's going to be dealt with there towards the back wall. Slow and steady. Just for Loud. You do want to keep it simple as well. Not getting ahead of themselves. EG being granted that lifeline though.
And this is keeping it simple. Use the Thrash to clear this area out. Allow Les to come over and pick up the ult potentially. Make sure you're holding to punish anyone who's looking to play this aggressively.
Superman has the ult, not even necessary. Wins out the fight single-handedly. Movement's nice from Pancada, but you're going to see it instantly coming back into the action. Not dead yet. Needs to find a kill though, and everybody's going to be holding their ground just for now. Slightest of our angles, but Superman feeling empowered. Just running it down forward. Shield gone out. Les cannot avoid capture. Too many players swarming him.
And another beautiful round from Superman. The 1v3 earlier was imperative to get EG started. It was the only round they got out of the first 6. It was that 1v3, and then Superman's also had another blinder there. The ult was just a cherry on top. It wasn't even really necessary. The round already won at that point in a 4v2. But just decided to style on him.
So nice stuff from EG. The 2 away from making it up to 5-5. Loud using their grip. What?
Yeah, just, I mean, exactly predicting that Superman will be playing on the same angle again. That's a lovely adaptation. Great read. If you commit B, though, Clove's still going to be able to apply those smokes. This is where the mind games happen, because Les has got a fantastic ultimate for being able to clear space. Do you want to go for it still?
Coming down the swarms. TP across from 2 years.
Cover going out.
Les is not playing with the squad. They are not prioritizing this lockdown at all.
Way out of there, Dizzy. It's a blind fire from one of them, a pre-fire as well onto the back corner. Nature just about avoiding and dodging all the way from the paranoia, and he's to claim that kill. It was Jogamo who saves him from that embarrassment. But now the pit dropped down. This will cover most of it. One-way smoke in their face. Don't think that's going to be doing too much good.
No nanoswarms on Spike. Lockdown only just now arriving.
Looking more forward to it though. Now with the wall, Apoff defusing. Might be able to get half. It's being covered. And dominating position. It's Derek. He's gained all that ground. Still onto the edges of all of this one. He needs to spot this lockdown. It's tucked right around the corner. It's forced the issue for him. And Nature is pushed back into the outer rings of it. The turret to catch him. 1 HP and a dream defusing.
Oh no!
No way!
Who on earth is Pancata shooting at?
I don't know.
Does he think he's fighting Goliath?
Going up to the skybox.
I mean,
Where were the shots going?
Where were the bullets going? Is he trying to give the guy a haircut? What is going on there? What is
bizarre.
that spam? It must be to do with the elevation because Pancata's just so much higher up when he's on top of green. That round never ever should be going the way of Nature. He just can't get away with that.
That's a blessing, man. I mean, it starts off all well and good. I'm not going to lie. Listen, sigh of relief from the EG players. They can barely believe it themselves.
Yeah, they've just been gifted it. Christmas come early. Oh, it's Jorgamo's birthday tomorrow. That was a little gift to try to close things out.
The odds for Loud taking a step back. The money's still strong.
It is,
which is surprising. They're making full advantage of it, I suppose, the prior wins they were getting.
That's a vulnerable with a shock dart to start the round off to see if Derek can just get a cheeky kill on someone going up the belt.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Pretty similar to the shock molly combos that we saw pioneered many, many years ago.
It's afforded Superman a bit of the space now.
But this is the thing.
Yeah, it doesn't have his ult.
You're not playing Reyna.
And they know exactly how to pre-fire it. Hunter's Fury. It's going to be used. See if you get that connection, but Derek has missed all the marks. The target's waiting for him. There's a high tide. It rips its way across over towards the A site. Does put a bit of a pause into the round for Loud.
I mean, at least there was the extra layer of the Hunter's Fury being thrown in there.
Yeah.
But it didn't save him. And smokes, again, still available if this does end on A. And Loud do keep committing into the spot where they kill Superman early on. Nature's ultimate is excellent for retake, but he's super committed over on B right now. He's not playing passively, so he's got a slow rotate over to A.
30 seconds left.
The smokes are going to bloom and blossom on the Loud side of things. Apoff. Forward to the cascade. He's fully blinded up. Not a clue where these players are yet still. They'll be handed to him. Onto the high ground. 2 years. It's traded. Derek's still holding it towards the back of the line here with only a few seconds remaining. I mean, the spikes dropped and the players forced to fight. They just can't get over that hurdle. Shield broken. Yeah, it doesn't really matter though, does it, man? That's going to be 5-5. EG, they do even it up.
Yeah, you're seeing the value that Loud or the value rather that the shield has in some of these spots is simply that Loud have to jiggle peek spam to try to remove it before they can take that fight. Sadak really wanted to try to get that spike back, and he had to try to deal with the shield before he could ever commit to taking a fight. Slowed him down. 5-5 now. EG running away with things here towards the end. But Loud ults online. A 4-player stack from EG though.
It's a big committal again. Jorgamo! Oh my god, man. Just takes the fight to him. He was traded in the end, but already these Loud players have toppled over. There's only 2 of them left. Thrash movement, I think, going a bit ajar.
Shadows traveling.
Tio's quickly going to be vacuuming up most of it, though. Able to get that plant down.
What do you do against a lockdown in this kind of spot?
Goodness me.
Shadows traveling.
Gotta fight aggressively. It's the only real shot. Drone tags it though. Lockdown comes through. What do they have?
Go, Wingman, go!
Paranoia. Any sort of play, just seeking to delay. Sadak, it's aggressive, it's risky. The cancel with the ult. Lockdown comes down. Guess what? They were waiting for it.
I think they were ahead of that one. Lovely play from EG. Nature getting involved with his rifle as well. Picks up Pancata through mid. Every fight goes the way of Evil Geniuses there as they find the brawls that they're looking for. Jorgamo's been a consistent factor the entire match. The rest of the players have been really up and down. Superman's now coming alive. Derek's finding his opportunities to trade out Jorgamo and hold nice, supportive angles for him. they're actually finding these situations to take team fights and win them.
Here.
Spots where the inexperience previously has been a big problem. Now, they've got their feet under them. It's Loud under pressure.
Yeah. Round 12 now by Xbox.
Suppressed.
Every first half has been 6-6.
It's gone down to the final few moments here. Now, money is flourishing for EG. Derek's going to be able to pick up that operator. None of that's going to be making too much of a difference. No players heading over towards the A site. Instead, all over towards B. This is a very committed position by Nature. He does get his nanoswarms off. Couldn't avoid that one. He's going to be locked himself into that 1v1 Jorgamo. Shield's gone, removed, but snappy once more. The movement is nice. Just on top of it.
Another mid lurker dead, and Nature, he takes contact, but ends up going down.
Right there.
Loud made this a little bit more winnable. Positioning just fully known right now. Loud are committed, waiting for the wall cycle. Finally, fuel in the tank, so we'll go up. Starting to get a move on, but it seems to be that hesitancy in their play. They don't really know what moves to make. Wall goes down, facing, tripled up onto the angle. Apoth doesn't give anything away. Plays for his life.
Great information.
But a kill given. Straight away now, Apoth. At least with the one. Turns the fire onto Pancada. Kawazine almost given a haircut. Bullets whistling right over. Jorgamo was just holding Util in his hands. Throne, timing, just seeking to take it all down to it. 2 years, time. What the hell is happening here? They've just missed each other's ships in the bloody night. All around, but EG with the final blow and finish onto that. Ending the round with a flourish. 7-5
Switching
for the first half of Icebox.
Finding themselves an advantage, and a crazy series of rounds. 6 in a row, looking sharp, getting big moments out of Superman, out of Jorgamo early on again. Some ridiculous slip-ups by Loud as well, it must be said. I mean, that one where Nature just snuck it away from them is going to be living rent-free in their heads, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
And this time, EG finally behind on first kills, but ahead at the half.
It doesn't follow any trends, man. This entire series is going up and down. You can't follow the numbers. We'll send it a very fundamental, different moments occurring, right? The nature stick that the Des was talking all about as well. But it's pissed around now. Putting our focus on, because let's make the difference. Will Loud be able to even it up early on? Or is it just going to be EG running away with it?
Turrets destroyed.
Definitely chances for Jorgamo to take over on attack side. I think it's much easier to get the value out of ISO in those spots.
Right here. Deploying drone.
The Smokes duo of 2Es and Pancada. Didn't think we'd be seeing them playing together, but here they are, battling over B main.
Oh, what a pre-fire. Just expecting that position, top 410, right?
Yeah, that's a nice one. Nature not really had too many moments with his gun in this round, but in this map so far, but that's a big one to put things on the board for EG.
2 years have been eating a ton of damage, trying to hold on to the back of Yellow over towards B. Big middle of his players. Nature didn't have the right crosshair placement for the job.
Almost got it done anyway.
He did, just for the adjustment. Less now on 10 HP, and he is... Okay, could have been a bit of a classic moment, but no. Top back up with a heal, Superman.
And now going to be a bit of a raid boss, isn't he?
Yeah. Got that pace injection, but he's going to be backing away with the rest of his team to make sure that they hold on to this. 2 players allowed. It's Pancada swarming, dropping down now into the site. Derek just tucks his head right round the corner. He's anticipating that nobody will account for him. And he'll be correct with that. Adjustments there as well from all of the guns and the pistols. Doing work there for EG. Up to 8. Setting themselves up now for a really strong beginning.
Thin out their numbers.
All of those issues that were plaguing them on map 1. Couldn't win a pistol, getting bonused. That's all, it's gone out the window.
Yeah.
These areas where Loud are able to find success and push that momentum into massive advantages, that is not the area that they're finding any success anymore. They were able to split pistols, at least here on Icebox. But Loud are going to need something massive to get back into this game, I think.
That's not going to see too much there, 2 years. Up and over.
Hello?
Yeah, not too sure what a sound cue is.
I mean, there's a blizzard going on. I know that it's icebox, but the weather doesn't seem that bad.
Pretty sure it'll disappear if Jorgemon goes down. I'm not kidding. We just need. Okay,
Oh, there
it
we
did
go.
go. It did
We
go.
cancelled it with the Alto
Thank you,
pickup, I
Jorgemon.
think.
Thank you for saving our ears.
Yeah, send it to the devs. And so again, the point that I was making earlier with the Harbor and Clove, they can take a lot of map control on B. They've got these 3 players to deal with. They may not like the look of this even, EG. Perhaps looking to commit on the opposite side of the map where Nature's playing, but once they get onto site, the Clove smoke's really good in these kind of spots.
Spotted it. Yeah.
Double step.
Leave just the leg seen from Les as he was just trying to get that top nest position.
A good pickup.
They do have peace of mind now. Sticking this plant, EG. No real chance for Loud to win out into this one. All just seeking to delay. But for EG, I mean, man, this team, you can highlight any one of the players as well, but he augurs well. I mean, a lot of parity being met, I think, with almost to the same degree of their run last year. Don't want to call it just yet.
I mean, that's getting...
It's a storyline that we've been following, I'm not going to lie.
Getting a little ahead of ourselves.
But it's matching. I think they were at a similar point last year. They were at 4 and 5.
Yeah, but they made it to Tokyo. And they had already been in the finals.
Okay, well, let's run another international event and give them a chance.
Well, sure. But they've had their opportunities to make it to 2 international events. And they haven't, you know, the last chance is champs now.
Okay, so my narrative has been ripped to pieces.
Well, I think both of these teams, both of these organizations are like, they're on somewhat similar trends to the previous year, but almost like a step down. For example, Loud, they normally have that dip in the middle of the year, where they didn't play particularly well at Copenhagen a couple of years ago. They didn't play that well at Tokyo last year, but they were able to revitalize themselves, get ready, and perform pretty damn well at Champions in both situations, even winning one of them. But this time, they actually failed to even make Shanghai, which was the first time that org has ever missed out on an international event.
Right here.
Since signing the Brazilian super team led by Argentinian captain Sadak. So, you know, both following parallel paths to their history, but just like a chunk lower. And reflected in their regular season record right now, both 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And this one, it matters so much.
Exactly. That's why we've been highlighting the importance of this match.
Turret
Right here
smoked off.
and now Loud. It's a good opener.
Kawanzin's gonna get stabbed in the back.
Yeah, there's that opener. Finally found. Fighting over it tooth and nail.
Spike down, B.
B main choke point. Spike's been dropped down on top of it, so
Carrying
have to be a bit of a retrieval job. A lot of noise being made by these EG players. Even the Cove committed by Apoff just to make sure that he can get out scot-free. Reclear being called by Loud, sending that Dizzy forwards. But Superman might have found a timing of his own.
Timing's on
Oh,
timing.
he hears it.
Yeah, the footsteps fantastic there for the timing that he's got.
He doesn't want to commit.
But this is a great spot. I mean,
It
you tuck
is.
yourself in here, you're shooting the back of people's heads.
Oh, he's going to be catching.
I don't...
does he get spotted here?
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
like
the
this.
spot's
as
just
much.
a little bit awkward, isn't it? Oh, it's all gone. A little bit skew with, and now he's forced to try and take this fight. Loud. Got to be on him. Yeah, and straight for the wall. I mean, Tuyas can just spam him, warbanged and dropped.
I think he had the round in the palm of his hand there,
Definitive
and he threw it away.
chances, yeah, for sure. Not able to do it now. Left up to just Nature and Apoff. Jumping up. Damage already been done from these bullets. Loud to make sure that they stick together tightly. Discipline in play. Smoked off onto the spike. Sadak can stick it.
Well, they needed a round like that, Loud.
They did.
I mean, Loud themselves have made so many mistakes in these kind of spots that they'll be loving the fact that EG have just made a similar kind of one. Because EG just had so much freedom over towards the A side, and Superman had got a gorgeous timing. Maybe just overthought it a little bit, because I think his first position was quite nice. He may have been worried about people coming out of A
Enemy
and
remaining.
spotting him as they're rotating from screens to heaven, something like that, but I think he was pretty good in the first spot that he tucked himself into. Hasn't damaged the EG economy too badly, though. They've still got rifles up in this one. But round 16 is going to be very important. That same idea of the vulnerable into the shock dart hasn't found a pick, or really any massive chunk damage throughout the map, but hasn't stopped EG for going for it repeatedly.
right here.
And it's, for example, denying Sadak, you know, access to Ult Orb, which would put Thrash online. Although I think it was Kawanzin that was going for it.
Some to respect the space. Jorgamo. Oh, wow, what is that? Expecting a jiggle. Paranoia. Flying, the shield's going to be taken off here in a reposition, at least with the TP. But a great first kill. This Jorgamo just leading the charge. Nature feeling the heat. It's really going to be tested now up onto this extremity. Nature survives on just 5 health, should be dealt with, and yes, this with the mosh pit rebounding. Meanwhile, up onto the other side now, it is a 3v3 still. Saneka's gonna have to get a bit of a move on, but he does have that ult earned.
Superman detected by the alarm bot in mid. Les looking to re-clear, spots it. And now they're just gonna try to commit to the retake instead.
What is that? I mean, adjustment by 2 years. That's sublime. Even if the crosshair placement wasn't quite there, and they double up for the cleanup over onto Derek. Sticking from 2 years, you have to get a real move on if you're Superman for any chance, but he's just walking all the way. He's being covered. Almost with the denial, but not quite. It's allowed. I will say they've got their foot at least back beneath them.
Yeah, I think they're doing a good
Money's
job
being
here.
built back up.
And they're also punishing the economy on the other side. These 2 rounds in a row have now knocked DG down onto an eco. I love the entry from Jorgamo again, just to talk about it for a little moment. Even though it didn't end up defining the round, he's taking that swing before he pops shield, which you might be thinking, well, why isn't he using one of the best abilities that ISO has? But that makes a global sound. And so other people are going to be ready for swing timings, that kind of stuff. He's trying to be unpredictable, and so he gets the swing before, puts himself at an advantage, and then pops shield to try to carry things forwards. You don't need to copy that kind of stuff in your rank games, though, because the people you play against are a little stupider. I can guarantee it.
Yeah, they're not thinking about the same stuff.
They
They're really
really
not.
aren't.
They're just saying, guys, just swing. Pancada, straggler court of Superman, who's just seeking to just hold that one. You're running straight over the Nana swarms Kawazine. Forward approach, perched up. Dealing with any adversaries that might try and make their mark onto that A side. That is lovely finish now, and Loud is just edging, creeping closer to an even scoreline.
Guns back online for Evil Geniuses. Getting close to ultimates on both sides. Could come online in the middle of the round. What a flick!
Yeah, I mean, okay.
That's nasty. We certainly could see an attempt to open up this round with Derek. You know, normally, Sovas are going to try to start rounds where they have the Hunter's Fury online by throwing out a drone, seeing if they can get a tag. Maybe a kill here onto Kawanseen or less. Instead, Derek. Oh, yeah, he is. He's going for the drone. Doesn't quite spot anything through the smoke. Oh, he's got the tag.
This feels out of range to me. I feel like he's way out of dodge. That's just backed away, even with it.
Good movement. And Jorgamo pops shield. Active for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a long time to try to wait it out.
That's the ult too. I'm going to be going for it though. Just priming for the vulnerability. Sends it along with the wall. Now, here we go. Good capture. Straight on to Les. And with that shield barely there, I mean, he wins it out almost easy as. Nice little pre-fire off to the side. Detainment onto 2 players though. Needs to be that cover. Needs to be firing. And Superman is there. Jorgamo right behind him. Trades available. And Nature survives another day. Leaving it to just Pancada to 1v2.
Out in the open? Out in the open?
Spike planted.
Just covered by the pillar. And I think, yeah, Molly landing too short. Potentially Nature not ticking away. Not even vulnerable, but he does need help. Jorgamo. What's the positioning? Shields back up and they swing from it. Perfect timing.
I was scared there for a moment. I thought Nature was planting on the other side of the pillar. But yeah, choosing that safe position to tuck themselves in. Jorgamo running rampant there, finding another big round to run that ISO success. What a clean shot. 2 of the best aimers, not just in this server, but that we have in all of America's going toe-to-toe. That all got ended in less than a second.
A blink of an eye.
I have more tests to...
Still massive ultimates available for EG. Still stuff that they can make work. Bit of A control, lockdown, tons of opportunities for them to get onto site fairly freely.
A bit of wind in their sails perhaps as well, like you were saying with these ults. Definitely can cook something up. No, I'm not seeing too much, but EG. At least know that nobody's pushed up over towards A now with full control of it. The one way is going to be slowing them down.
Yeah, I don't know whether Nature's really going to want to invest lockdown here because Kawanseen's going to have a lineup for it.
Wants to play here from Superman. We can see it. Just 3x rate. There's lots of players now going to be swarming. His position is no way. He stays alive here. Just didn't adjust. Not with the aim. What?
There's no way!
You're not getting out there, man. Pop through the window. Skipping around. There are so many players going to be seeking you out. Lockdown.
Ambitious.
They're all the way in there. Spawn man. Jorgamo. He's hunting them down. Entertainment. At least onto the one. And EG needed to make a play in that moment. 3 versus 3. Slowed them down to a crawl. Now it's up to Loud. Got to get a move on. Rapid pace needs to be taken. Dart. It's going to be pre-fired off towards the back wall. You can already hear it ticking. Underhanded flash is good and aware of it. Loud with all the kills in the world. Seal it up. A 9th one for them. And I'm not letting EG get away with it.
In rounds like this, in tense situations like that retake, Loud have had the advantage by just being able to bulldoze their way through and win straight up duels. But this sent me. What on earth is Superman up to? But it did kind of play Jorgamo in.
Hard committal.
Yeah, Jorgamo getting 2 off the back of all of that chaos, almost making things worthwhile. What is going on out here? Bonkers Valorant. And Loud getting a great retake off. Like I said, barreling their way into backside and just trying to take fights. Try to make magic happen with the Vandal.
He's been asked to step up from his team. Numerous points now over the course of this series, and he's definitely delivered. See if he can do it now when they really need it most. The wall doesn't really dodge and avoid most of that damage. In fact, spraying him through. Nature dropped down to half HP. Up top, though, that will be traded. Jorgamo with that rifle.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of that, really, because you've just allowed Jorg to get up to an ult and shield online.
Potential game changer. Here it is. Let it rip. Lays it down. Holding for the angle. Bit of a pre-fire. Up versus Les! And with it, just wrangles the beast that is that rifle. To claim that kill.
Good job Jorgamo had the shield.
Exactly. Made all the difference in the world, but still, he oversteps himself there. Seeing if he can push the advantage even further. Pancada swats him down.
Cowanzine on the flank.
This is a difference maker with Superman. Off to the side here. Has to be that reposition of Pancada. He's left alone.
Cowanzine's got this. Beautiful timing. Fantastic from the initiator there. Catching the play with the spike in one of the worst positions over towards danger. That double tap is never real.
No.
Just a bit of a fumble on the input there from Superman.
Screams of it being a bit of a
30
fake. And look at the
seconds
reposition. Kawase making sure that he doubles up. Love the decision making there.
So 10 to 10. Another round, honestly, where Jorgamo plays things as well as he possibly can to let EG back into things. But the weaponry just wasn't quite there. And now, most of the big ults have been invested for EG.
Neutralized.
So the economy gets evened out, but ult economy in favor of Loud, and I think that's going to be very difficult for EG to get through. The defending team has Thrash and Lockdown, and those are just amazing for stopping a sight from happening if you wanted to use Thrash like that, or enabling a flood defend, or even going for a set retake. There's so many ways of making it work. This utility designed to put pressure onto a player that's playing aggro, as Pancada is.
Almost there with a punish. EG forward. Jorgamo pick up the orb again.
Yeah, please. My ears.
Please. He's running it down now. Alongside the team. He's trying to take that one fight. Dizzy up and over. Knife dropped down to the floor. Superman also dropping down to the floor himself. Nature. He was a straggler over towards A. Does pick up 2 years.
He's been doing a good job, actually, of giving EG opportunities in the round. He's opened up A again. He's been able to find less in some of these spots. This time finds 2s. The ultimates are still fantastic to go for a retake on A. I think Sadak's job here is just to make sure nobody oversteps that mark and starts pushing into spawn.
Jorgamo is miles away, man. He really is. And few whiff bullets might make the difference here for Sadak, but now he does have the ult. Thrash going to be committed. Jorgamo, got to get a move on here. Time working against you and your team.
But even
Thrash clears it through.
Even if he can just get in position to break the lockdown, he's got a good spot. Nah, he's not going to have the
I
time.
don't think so. He's going to be pushed out of space and position, at least with a Hunter's Fury. That's a tap. Forced it out of range now, but the knife going to be broken, but that's a wingman. It's going to be broken there. One last pulse there from the Hunter's Fury. Sticking now, that's Sadek committing all the way onto Half. There needs to be a kill coming through at any point. And time now, and it is finally there. Half on the board. Maybe a chance for Kawazine, but he's got too much to account for. Too much to deal with. As EG up to 11. It's been back and forth, back and forth. Elements of streakiness on Icebox itself, don't get me wrong, but finally EG at least getting the rounds that matter.
How did the wingman end up going down there in that spot?
I think it must have been some additional spam or something, because it was like one burst of the Hunter's Fury, right? And then...
Yeah. It feels like in that kind of spot,
Drop down.
when the Hunter's Fury isn't used to break the lockdown, you kind of want to bait that out. And then the idea is that you commit wingman as like the second wave so that it's on the spike as you can press forward. But, you know, small details being missed. It's neither here nor there. EG up to 11 and Loud have just got to focus on the next round, try to put something together. That was their opportunity to set the advantage with the ultimates. Squandered. Fight happening over towards B, but it's Nature versus 2Es again on the A side that could open things up. That's how the previous round went so well for Evil Geniuses.
Vulnerable in the shock tart. No damage done. All the emphasis placed. Oh, they all just spotting it. She gives away the position. Not that's going to be mattering too much with EG still.
Over there.
Semi-committed over towards B.
I feel like we've seen very few Flash Dizzy combo reclears into areas from Loud. Their composition does allow it, despite the fact they don't have a duelist.
Yeah.
If Sadek wanted to get aggressive off the back of the Dizzy and a Flash, you know, he could. Pancada picks the time in 30 seconds.
Yeah, this
to
is
try
beautiful.
to commit into this, it's gonna be difficult.
Good luck. The decay damage is going to be ripping him to shreds surely, but they can't quite get these players out of position. In through mid, underhanded with a flash, but still no kill. And it's all falling to pieces. EG! They worked their way to a magical win here, up to 12. And a final stepping stone as all that stands between them and stealing away this series.
The history between these orgs is so back and forth. We've seen them clash in some iconic matches in the past. Last year, we got treated to 13-0s, upset wins, revenge matches too.
Enemy remaining.
This one's been brilliant.
Yeah.
He just
What a treat it's been.
The depth of ideas is so nice, but I really thought Lauder got the better end of that one. Yeah, it was almost, what, two rounds ago?
Yeah, not too sure. Let's go, Turns it back though, up to 12. And like we've been saying, one more round will do it. It's Loud. Left to simmer in the timeout of their own choosing. Maybe they can make something of the round. Still stand a chance. Comes down to these little differences. Jump spot of Jorgamo. Too much revealed. Pre-fire onto the corner of the drone. Even with that tag on the Pancada, will be pushing him out of the picture. And a re-clear's called by Loud. They are heavily committed. Lots of players up into mid. They've been doing this prior. Anti-flash played. Variety of players. EG are ready for it, but still Loud. They persevere. TP on top of the box. 2 years. It's Jorgamo left reeling. Not expecting that type of angle. And why would you?
Oh, that's a really bold play from Loud there. Nature's trying to make the timing happen. On the other side, caught by Les.
Yeah.
Beautiful angle from Les.
Takes one to the temple. Loud. Staying alive in the series.
And what a round to pull out. EG were ready for that play through mid. They were holding an anti-flash position, like you mentioned. But as they swung in to punish the mid push, Loud hit their shots better. And were already posted on the angle, ready to punish. Ended up backfiring there, EG. But they've still got another opportunity to close out Icebox. That angle that Les is holding is so good. We've seen plenty of other Killjoys running that spot. Good for punishing aggressive lurks onto the site. And Nature has been trying to open the spot up for his team. Sadak. Whoa! 2Es dropped. Thrash online, but it cost 2Es his life.
And this is it, isn't it?
Right here.
The round that matters the most. Drone forwards, 2 players caught in an unfortunate position as a molly and the nade committed along with Hunter's Fury. And the loud players, Kawazine, you cannot withstand it. The heat has been turned up, maximum temperatures. And it's EG, you can taste victory. They're barely there on the precipice of all of it. Such an important series. Both of these teams, 2 and 3, as we've been mentioning, and with every player that falls, it's more and more likely. Evil Geniuses. A match to win, hard-earned all the way. Unless faced with an impossible position, cannot do it. EG winning this fated matchup once more versus this last.